Marcus Twist with another wonderful episode of WrestleRoni. Joining us today, get this, champions galore on WrestleRoni. Current UWS Champion, the Golden Child himself, Evan Golden, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him, Marcus. Marcus.
Lou, do you see something wrong with
Nope.
my background?
Nope.
So you didn't have anything to do with the rainbows and the hard clouds and shit?
Nah, that's you, baby.
I didn't have anything to do with you. You didn't sabotage any of that.
Sabotage? Like we sabotage each other on this show. We're friends.
I feel like you set me up.
Okay. I think you're feeling some kind of way because Evan has cooler sunglasses than you do.
I think you're trying to make me look stupid in front of my new friend Evan. I don't appreciate it.
You know what? It's okay. We can wear matching sunglasses, and you can have that background, but that's all I can tell you. That's all I've got for you, pal. But I think you should keep the background because it's a good look. You know.
You're lucky he likes it, Lou. I'm going to get back at you for this one.
Yeah.
Well, to be clear, the champ was my friend before he was your friend. Just so the fans know the... Yeah, so... I appreciate
That's you're entitled to your wrong opinion. It's fine.
Enough about us. Evan, thank you for coming on. Very curious to hear your story. Tell me about winning this championship, because we don't go in chronological order. We get crazy. Tell me about winning the big belt.
Man, thanks for putting some spotlight on it because I'm like super excited about this. This is the United Wrestling Syndicate Heavyweight Championship. I won this belt like 3 weeks ago now in Elizabethton, Tennessee, and I defeated a competitor named Austin Cox, who was just a complete tyrant in the ring and gave me a challenge that like I honestly didn't expect to go through. So yeah, I mean, I definitely earned this one. I earned this shiny penny here. So,
Congrats! Congratulations! Hell yeah! It looks like professional wrestling's treating you pretty well as of late.
Yeah, man, I can't complain about it. I've had so much fun so far in this new journey. So,
hell yeah! Well, you say so far and new. How long have we been working?
We've been working since December 2021, so it's been a little over a year, yeah.
Damn,
Oh, yeah.
Already champ.
Already champ. And look, I can't say that nothing was handed to me. I earned this, and I'm like so proud of myself as a competitor because like I said, this was so hard to get my hands on, so...
Hell yeah, good for you. Marcus, what you got for me?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man, congratulations on a big win. First time in your career, I would assume, right?
Yeah, this is the first one. So like I'm holding on to it so tight, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I know how it feels because we won our first belts this past July last year.
No way.
So, I mean, yep, congratulations. We've dropped them since then, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. Give us some background. What's going on with what got you into wrestling? What are your passions? Some of your favorite wrestlers? Give me a rundown.
The rundown's a little different, to be honest. So I'm a second generation wrestler. So I've been around wrestling since I was pretty much born. My dad's name is 24 Karat Eddie Golden, and you know, he's been in the business for 30 years, and I was born in 2000, which was pretty much his peak year of wrestling. Like, he was like the NWA Wild Side Television Champion in that year. And as I've grown up, you know, a couple of years back, I was super interested in starting my own journey because he's like super respected in the industry. And so, you know, it's huge shoes to fill, but at the same time, I just was so inspired a few years ago, particularly by Japanese wrestling. Kenny Omega is like my favorite wrestler.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, watching his matches a few years ago around 2018, like really opened my eyes to like starting my own story. So yeah.
I dig it. Okay, he's won me over more. Where he likes Kenny Omega. I see it in the hair. I love it. And you
Yeah.
know,
That's also, I think this is the first on the show we have like a second generation wrestler.
yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't think we've
yeah.
ever had generational like guys ever. I
And,
think you're the
Really?
first one.
and
Yep.
And
That's really
props
cool.
to your dad, because when you said the name, I said, I've heard that name. NWA Wildside, I'm always watching the old stuff on YouTube. It's out
Mhm.
there, folks. Check it out. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Do you
it's
have any
there.
memories as a kid going to watch your dad wrestle? Or
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, like the earliest memories that I have are the wrestling ring and my dad performing, and a lot of his friends from back in the day, I've grown up around are pretty much uncles to me, which is awesome, because like now that I've started wrestling, they're still around at the shows, and they held me as a baby. I don't know if they changed my diapers. I'll have to ask a few of them. But I know that I was there, and yeah, I have tons of memories of just, seeing Dad perform. And I think he first took me on the road. I think I was like 3 or 4 when he finally took me out with him. And yeah, I've got some wild, vivid memories that are so cool. So
hell yeah, hell yeah. And Tennessee is another slept-on territory, similar to West Virginia. You guys have been
yeah,
killing it for years. I've watched NWA Wildside.
yeah.
There's all kinds of great promotions in Tennessee. When you was in your teenage years, was you going out to indie shows? What companies were you checking out then?
So during my teenage years, I was going through this really weird spell where like I wasn't even like really watching it too much. I would watch a lot of the old stuff that Dad would show me when I was a kid, just because of nostalgia, and I love the classics, the '80s and '90s. I love WCW. I even love TNA. Like early TNA is just so much fun for me to watch. But like in my teenage years, I never really watched like that current product at the time
Mm-hmm.
until I was like 17. That's when I first started to like tune into New Japan. And as you saw, the All In scene started to break out. And that's when I was like, this is really taking a boom that I
Mm-hmm.
like to see. But as far as like the independent scenes, my dad was still in Tennessee at the time, and I was still going to the shows. And so I was around Innovate Pro Wrestling, um, and places like that where in Evolution, that's another one that my dad went to a little bit. So when I was like 15 through 17, those are some Tennessee promotions that I was at. But as far as mainstream, it's the weirdest thing. Like there was kind of a blank there where I wasn't even really watching what was happening on national TV at the time.
It sucked. It's fine. I
Yeah,
understand. There was nothing to watch.
thank you. I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Ah,
Oh, you're a much nicer guy than me.
believe me, Triple H and Vince catch most of the WrestleRonis, but they skip a
Yeah.
couple, so I don't know if they'll be watching this one. Who knows? But yeah,
That's it. They got a busy schedule.
yeah, they can't catch them all. They can't. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
understand. It'll be on here for you later, Uncle Trips. No problem. Innovate
Yeah.
Pro, friend of the show, Malachi Gage currently works Innovate, so I'm familiar with their product. Unless there's more than one Innovate out there, maybe. Oh well, whatever.
This runs out of Kingsport, Tennessee, if that helps.
Um,
And
The-
they're a great promotion. Dad's been working there for years, so that's another place I've been around since I was a kid. And like, but even then, I wasn't so like. For some reason, I wasn't so in tune with it. Like I said, it was for some reason around 2018. I was like, dude, wrestling's really starting to speak to me and something that I would want to do.
Hell yeah. So what was the final thing that clicked and you said, I gotta train, I gotta do this?
I would say it would be Kenny Omega versus Okada at Dominion. That was the one match that made me realize wrestling is huge and these days because of this. And I realize now that like it wasn't the wrestling that everyone was supposed to be watching here in America. This is New Japan Pro Wrestling, And here in America, I couldn't tell you how much of the audience was actually watching that match when I was watching it. But it opened my eyes to say, like, this is storytelling that needs to be seen in America. You know what I mean? And as you can see now, it's finally starting to seep into today's American product, and AEW and even independent promotions like MLW and stuff are they're really honing in on their storytelling. And I think that was the match, though, that made me say, like, you can really reach out and grab an audience's attention with storytelling like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I appreciate that. I dig it. What do you got for him, Marcus? I can see the gears turning.
Well, it's that there's a couple things, because I mean, like, around the Tennessee area, I'm familiar with a couple of guys. Obviously, you probably know Ricky Morton, second generation wrestler. You probably ran into Kerry Morton, who would be a third generation. Chase Stevens is a good friend. That we run into at we do Coastal Championship Wrestling out there at Redcon 1 Gym in Nashville, Tennessee.
That's
I've
awesome.
been there a couple times.
I've seen pictures of that gym, dude. It looks awesome in there.
Yeah, really, really fun one. But here's like a real interesting one. I know he's a second generation wrestler and a second generation gear maker. Tyler Thorne. Not sure if you're familiar with him or not.
I've heard the name, but I've never met him. And I don't even think I could put the name to a face, but I've heard that name mentioned for sure.
Yeah, because I know he's in the area. It's just interesting that we run into the same people, talk to the same people, work the same areas.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, man, for sure. Now, like, that jacket is awesome. That was one of the first things I wanted to get out there, like, once we really got into it and dove deep. And I thought that Tyler Thorne was behind the jacket. Tell me a little bit, like, what's the inspiration behind it? What gave you the idea? Who's, like, making your stuff? I mean, like, give me a plug. Give me someone to talk to. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm, like, a really naturally vibrant person. Like, people will come up to me and be like, dude, like, what are you trying to do here? Like, why is you look like a whole rainbow right now? And I'm like, no, this is just how I dress anyways. And, like, so as you can imagine, like, it completely speaks through my in-ring attire. And the jacket itself, funny enough, and I'm gonna spill the beans here on the show, it is a female jacket. All right.
Okay.
I'm not feeling a certain way. It's a female jacket. But the thing is it's awesome to me. Like, it's something that, like, I would have, like, no shame wearing in the mall or something. And yeah, and the cool thing about it too is it fits me perfectly. My old man was like, how are you even fitting in this? I'm like, dude, it fits perfect, so. But yeah, I decided to reveal the secret here on the show for you two, that is not a men's jacket that you can just get somewhere, but I did get that on Amazon. So
hey, brother, there are plenty of exclusives here on the WrestleRoni podcast, and you guys heard it first. It might not be a men's jacket, but goddamn, does it fit that man?
Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about.
We got the scoop. I told you.
That's why we're here. That's why.
That's what this is all about. I figured I would shock the crowd watching the show, and I'm not ashamed about it because I love it. And I'm glad that you guys like it too, because that's one of the first things you said is you were like, that's a cool jacket. And I was like,
no doubt. And that's what it's all about, man. Good. That's just, I mean, that's a small part of what it's all about, but I saw the promo pic. I said, well, hell yeah, we're going to like this guy. And so far, so good. I don't know if you're going to turn it around on us at the end here, but we're rocking and rolling.
No, I'm having a blast, man. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you coming
for being here, man.
Yeah, man. That's what we're here for. We want to put a spotlight on young, up-and-coming independent talent. That way, when you're on AEW Dark or NXT here in 5 years, we can say, ha! We had him first, bitches. So.
That's awesome.
Tell us about some of your training, some of the hell you went through in training.
Well, my training has been, I could have not asked for a better training experience myself. you know, as you could have guessed, my old man's had a huge hand in teaching me a lot, but I've actually been receiving a lot of training from Easy Money, who you might remember from ECW.
Yes.
And yeah,
No,
he
that. Oh man, please hook
yeah.
me up with that. That dude was so underrated. Oh my
Oh,
god.
you just struck a nerve with Blue. He's a
Oh.
big
Oh my
ECW guy.
goodness. No, you don't
Yeah.
even know. Yeah, tell us all about Easy Money, please.
Easy Money is doing great these days, and he's actually making an in-ring return soon, which is huge news. He's not worked a show in 5 years. So,
Oh.
but the funniest thing is, and you know, in case you wanted to know, he's not missed a single step. I mean, at training, it's like everything that you saw on ECW and WCW is the exact same. Sometimes it feels like it's better. I mean, he's just an amazing talent, and in my opinion, like one of the greatest wrestlers ever.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about as a hybrid wrestler, technically high flying, it's perfect. And he has pretty much been, aside from my dad, my main trainer. And I've managed to pick up a lot of hot commodity, easy money moves, and it's just been really cool. And another trainer that I've been working with, and you may have crossed paths with this one, Jeff Connolly, the closer. I don't know if you guys met Connolly, but he's also been one of my trainers.
Okay. I have heard the name. But
Yeah. So I'm like super proud of my training experience, and there's still a million things to learn, but it's been an experience that like I love, and I probably won't ever stop doing, to be honest. So
I feel it.
yeah.
Yeah, hey man, you're blessed. You know, second generation, and you got Easy Money training you. Honestly, I got a light up cigarette after you said Easy Money. Like, that was my dude
Yeah,
when he was
no,
around.
he's doing great, and has provided a training experience for me that is so cool. And my finishing move is actually one of his old moves. It's called the Afterburner, and it's
Mhm.
just a huge flipping neck breaker. And I try to make a huge deal out of it. You know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
it's the move that he's, you know, fortunately I've been blessed to have passed down to me. So, you know, I'm making the most of it. And when someone gets hit with it, it's not gonna tickle. You know what I mean? You
Oh,
know?
yeah. Yeah, you got some history behind that one, man.
Oh
That's
man,
sick.
that dude and Kid Cash back in the day. I tell you what, if AJ Styles wasn't around back then, they would be in AJ Styles' spot now. I said that then, I say that now. Just AJ was so good, and he was doing all this innovative stuff, and in
Oh
the same
yeah.
area at that. So, you know,
Yeah.
but those guys were so underrated. I'm glad, you know, they got their time on WCW, ECW. Glad to hear he's
Yeah.
when he gets back in the ring. Give your boy a heads up. I gotta see the footage. Got to.
Oh, I'll send you the footage, both of you guys, because it's gonna be cool. I mean, he did like a little bit of like a on the same show that I won this belt. He came out and was a surprise entrant for the Rumble match that was on the show that night, and he came in and like dominated the whole thing. So you know, I don't want to tell you who eliminated him from it because that make me look horrible. But somebody threw him out.
Fair enough. I know how it goes. Believe me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lou knows if anybody does. It's fine. It's cool. Let's go into your first match. Were you a little rattled? How was you feeling going into that match that day?
So I was so eager to start this crazy journey that I just wanted to just do this match, because like it has been something that even when I was a kid was like slowly building up, like because just, you know, being at all these hundreds of shows, I'd always be watching them and deep down thinking like, oh, God, I wish I was up there doing this too. And the day of my first match was almost surreal, because I was like, I've spent my whole life watching this and watching my family do this, and now I'm about to do it myself. And that was also the same day that every bit of expectation of me like rammed onto my shoulders, because I was like, at first I was like, well, this is going to be great, like I'm going to go out and get this going. But the day of my first match, I was like, whoa, the shoes I need to fill are huge, and this starts today. And the funniest part, and this is another scoop I'll throw out here on the show, I was like, I don't believe I was prepared or in any way ready for this first match, as I should have been, because the training experience that I've had has been fantastic, like we talked about. But prior to this first match, I still wasn't ready, and I kind of jumped the gun on it. But the cool news is, and the relief about the whole thing is, the match was fine. And I remember after it was over, the one thing that I took away is that the crowd was clinging on to it the whole time. And I was the heel, and I went under, and when the bell rang, the crowd went crazy, which means that I did something right. And I remember, leaving the match thinking, it wasn't great, and I'm definitely not, I've got a million things to learn starting now, for sure. But I do remember thinking, oh my gosh, this could have been a whole lot worse. And the cool thing is, right before the match, my dad decided to kind of just walk me to the ring and be my manager, which was like, so it was so cool, because like we were like standing behind the curtain, my first entrance. I just remember thinking, like, this is awesome. The journey starts now,
Hell yeah, that's awesome. That's good stuff. That's the stuff. That's why the show's here, man. We try to show the good in wrestling. That's what it's all about. Marcus?
Yeah, because like it would have been so boring if I would have went in and my first match was like flawless and everyone was standing up. Like it would have been kind of ridiculous. So like now that I look back and have improved, it's cool to think that everything didn't go fantastic. But I will always be proud that the crowd was into the match and popped at the end like they were supposed to. But it's funny to think back on, and Dad picks on me sometimes because he'll be like, remember when you did this? Because I'll be like, I'll ask him, like, how far have I come along? Like, how are things looking? And he'll be like, well, remember in your first match when you did this? And I'm like, oh, dude, don't even talk about that. That's embarrassing. but
that's awesome, man. I wish my dad liked wrestling. I try to tell him about, oh, man, this shit. I don't want to hear about that fucking wrestling. So my dad's an old retired coal miner. He does not like the wrestling. Marcus, what you got for him, man?
Well, we've talked about like your upbringing and your training and like this long lineage and these big boots that you have to fill.
Yeah.
What are some goals that you have, like short term, long term? What can we expect to see from you, like in the not so distant future, and then in the distant future? What would you like people to see?
Man, I think it's really cool that you brought up the not so distant future, but the soon is what I've really been trying to, hone in on, because when I first started all of this, I was being super unrealistic with my goals. I was like, oh, well, maybe next year this will have happened, and then this will have happened, and this will be happening. And just the past couple of months, I've really sat back and said, I'm going to fine tune these goals and make them completely attainable for like this year. So, for example, like this year alone, I just want to have more tag team matches, because I feel like they help me learn a lot. And I feel like every tag team match that I have, I come out with better. It's weird. I mean, I know you guys know all about tag team wrestling and the experience of being in the ring with it, but like it helps me a lot because, like, for one, I get to have a partner, whether I'm a heel or a baby face. I have someone in my corner, and once I'm done doing what I'm doing, I can tag him in and then tag me back in, and it's just a fun match to have. And I'm starting to like really get into it. And another thing that I want to do is I want to be able to be seen on video as much as I can this year. I try to make sure that I upload as many matches as I can on YouTube so people can check it out. Because I've done a couple of shows where nothing was on video, and I was kind of like, that's kind of weird. I feel like
Yep.
it should be on video. I feel like it should be on video,
Yep.
So
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
yeah, so
you're
like,
preaching to the choir on that one.
yeah, and it's not that like, I like to watch myself, because I actually don't, but it's little things. Like, for one, I want people to be able to watch my matches, and if they like it, I want them to be able to see it. And then for me, I can pick apart stuff that I need to work on. So I think in the near future, you should definitely be able to see a lot of videos, just cell phone videos of me having matches on YouTube. And you should definitely be seeing me have a lot of tag team matches. And it comes down to even the smaller things, like, making sure that my presentation is just the way I want it to be. Because that first match that I was telling you guys about, I didn't really feel like I was completely myself the way I feel now. So, things like that. As far as the distant future, further down the road, I can only just hope that I can be seen on a larger platform. And I don't know how large that may be. It may be an upper level indie show. It could be some sort of TV. It could be a web series. I just hope that there's a way that people can see Evan Golden on a larger scale in 5 years' time, one way or another. Because right now, like I said, I'm just hoping I've got it on video on my phone, So
Right on.
Right.
yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say, that I know a tag team.
Really?
And I'm not going to say that there might be an expert in our midst that does a lot of tag team wrestling.
Look, I love it. Because here's the thing, like, this year, so when I first started, throughout 2022, it was just a bunch of singles matches, me learning, and me, even down to my cardio. Just these single matches really helped me out. But for some reason, these past few months, I've like found myself doing a lot of tag team wrestling, and it is a blast. So, if you know of any tag teams of credibility, I'll be a part of it, and I'll compete against them because it's cool. It's fun.
Okay.
In my personal and professional opinion, I think Saturday Night Special is pretty credible as far as a tag team goes. So, I mean, anytime that you're around West Virginia, Pennsylvania, or Ohio, and you're looking for a tag team to jump in with or one to go up against, you can always reach out.
I will, and I already know it's credible because it'll teach me, and that's all I can ask for. So
that's what I'm talking about.
And I tell you what, to piggyback off of Marcus's offer, I'll offer you this because I like you. I don't know, I like you. But next show you have, get somebody in that crowd to shoot it on their phone. Tell them to turn it sideways, put it in landscape mode.
Thank you. Someone understands. It's got to be in landscape.
Yes.
All right.
Gotta be.
Tell them shoot it in landscape mode. Then you shoot it over to Spooky Lou. We'll put it on an episode of Saturday Night Shoot Masters.
That's awesome, man.
I got you.
That's cool. Thank you.
We're gonna be pumping those out like once a month. Saturday Night Shoot Masters open to everybody.
Yeah,
you guys
work
can
submit anything.
You guys pump this stuff out. You guys got good content. I'm telling you.
Thank you. By God, I'm trying, and yeah, I've been spending more time editing footage than anything. So
yeah.
But folks are watching, man. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you to all the subscribers, everybody on Facebook, Twitter. You know who you are. We love you. Couldn't do it without y'all, and that's why we're talking to champions right here on WrestleRoni, by God. Marcus, what are you thinking? I still see the wheels turning, man.
Oh, wheels are constantly turning.
I think you're plotting on him. See, Marcus, let me tell you a little bit about Marcus. When I met Marcus, he's a pretty good
here
guy.
We go.
Here's a pretty good guy. He's still my brother, but lately, he's been a bit of a bad guy.
He's been a schemer. He's up to no good.
He kidnapped a whiz can. He kidnapped
a
whiz can.
That's alleged. It's alleged.
There's video proof of it, Marcus.
I've never seen the video.
Okay, go on the RSW Facebook page.
There's only so much proof out there in the world, and unless I've seen it, possession's 9/10 of the law, and I don't possess the footage, so I've never seen it. That means it hasn't
Well,
happened.
it could also be doctored footage.
It could be.
Or what if
They
it's
have
a stunt double? What if it's
See?
me? I've got the exact same pair of glasses. It could be me doing this stuff.
Oh,
I don't know.
It's about time somebody came around here and had some sense. They got AI art out there nowadays. They're copying Joe Biden and Donald Trump playing Call of Duty on TikTok. I see it all the time. Who's to say that they couldn't throw Saturday Night Special in a bathroom to kidnap a whiz can?
You never know.
Now,
Come
I
on.
will say some folks could do that, but I know in my heart of hearts, Tim Cross couldn't do that.
You know what I know? It's
What?
hard to be sucker free in a world full of lollipops, Lou. And right now you're looking like a lollipop.
I've been called worse, buddy. It's good. It's all good. It's all good. Marcus has a big weekend ahead. Big match VCW. He's been bumped to the pre-show on pay-per-view, so he's a little pissed about that. But you'll have
Hey, well, not my idea. They don't want to sell that many tickets or have everyone leave, I guess. Not giving us a high-profile match like they normally do. Normally we're like the co-main or the main event. Well, we ended up walking out because of indifferences, and we've talked about those indifferences, and it's available to see on indiewrestling.us. But it will be on the pre-show against two extremely unfortunate men coming up on this Sunday.
The pre-show is the show, though. It's still part of the show.
Oh, see, that's part of the show for normal guys. That's a punishment for us. That's just how it is. But hey, we'll take the punishment on the chin. And I really hope that Victory Championship Wrestling has a great insurance policy for what's about to happen to those two guys. Those two poor guys.
All right.
In the beginnings of their careers. The beginning is about to be the end. Couldn't even get on the main show. And now they never will. They'll be watching it from wheelchairs out in the crowd next show.
I fired him up. I apologize to our esteemed guest here. Evan, besides UWS, are you working other promotions? Are you hitting the road? If not, there's nothing wrong with that. What's going on as far as travel and things?
Fortunately, the traveling has been pretty good. Just recently, I was almost up your guys' way. I was in Virginia.
Okay.
Not West Virginia, but I was in Virginia. I've been hitting up Kentucky, which isn't Kentucky closer to you than actual Virginia? They both border.
Depending,
it depends.
We're in northern West Virginia. I like to call regular Virginia the lesser Virginia.
There you go. Well,
but then we got Kentucky, obviously, but all that's in the southern part of the state.
Yeah, well, I've been hitting up Kentucky and Virginia a little bit for a promotion called All-Star Wrestling.
Okay.
And then I've been wrestling here where I live in Asheville. It's called Urban Combat Wrestling, which is actually about to go on a huge 4-date tour, and every show is going to be completely personalized. It's like, for example, this Sunday we're going to be in Knoxville, and the show's going to be 80s themed, which I think is hilarious because that's just pretty much nothing will really change with me. But then the next week we're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a couple hours from me. So it's a little bit of a drive, a little bit of a haul, but it's kind of a straight shot for me. That's going to be a rap and wrestling show, which is super cool because I love when music and wrestling gets integrated. I don't know why. I think it's fun.
They go hand in hand. They go hand in hand.
Yeah, and then I've also been going to Tennessee, which is the old stomping grounds for the Golden Wrestling family. So, I've had a really fun time traveling this year, and I have been able to branch out more this year than I did last year. Because last year I was really just trying to improve in small spots and make my mistakes kind of behind closed doors in a way. And now this year I've really been burning some gas,
Smart.
So,
I like that. I like that thought process. I really dig that. Now, I know you're kind of new, you're a little young, and your dad might watch the show, but we're talking about the road. We got to have some sort of silly, crazy road story.
Well, if my old man watches the show, and if he doesn't watch the whole thing, I'll definitely clip this right now to him. When I was 7 years old, we were driving in Kentucky, and he, for some reason, he's never had alcohol, he's never smoked, but for some reason, he's got tons of tickets over the years, just speeding tickets from, I mean, Pennsylvania to Tennessee to South Carolina. He's a speed demon.
You gotta make the pound, baby.
Yeah, and like here's the thing, like when I was 7 years old, I was always in the passenger seat with him going to these shows. Well, we're in Virginia, and we're in Kentucky, and I remember because we're in like this really like rough terrain. Like I think this is straight up Appalachian Mountains. Like there's no civilization. Like
our world.
I remember seeing nothing but outhouses, and I was like, I didn't even know they still had outhouses. Like this is crazy. But anyways,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, we're driving, and literally the blues hit us from behind, and I'm freaking out because I'm just a kid, and I'm like, the cops are pulling us over, and my dad's like, son of a bitch, and I'm like, Dad, what is your problem? And he's like, I'm so mad, just calm down, it's gonna be okay. Like he kept telling me to calm down, even though I was like completely calm, and he was the one freaking out. He was like, son, calm down, it's gonna be okay. And I was like, I know it's gonna be okay, but like, what's going on? Like what? And he was like, I may be going a little bit fast. The next thing I know, he's got a speeding ticket, like in the middle of nowhere, where I don't even know where he would have gone to court or whatever. Because I mean, I saw no such building. I saw no civilization, no restaurants. There wasn't even a Waffle House out there. It was crazy. Yeah, I was like, this is ridiculous. So, yeah, that is my road story with Dad. And the funny thing is, I think it happened a couple of more times. It's just that first time meant a lot to me because it was the first time it ever happened. I was like, dude, I can't believe my dad's getting a ticket right now. This is so stupid. But
I'm so glad you brought that up because I don't even think I've got to tell Marcus this story. It just brought back a memory to me from just this past Saturday or Sunday night. Oh, this is great. Dad, Mr. The Senior Golden, please turn off the podcast now. And so me and Billy Knox are coming back from a wonderful show from PWL, Easter Mania. Me and Billy Knox are known to partake in a little bit of smiz on the way home. You got to pass the time. So yeah. We're smizzing. We're almost home. We're 10 minutes away from home. We turn off the interstate, and the blue and reds come on right behind us.
No.
Oh, my God. He said, roll down the fucking window, idiot. So I rolled down the window. He pulls over, and the cop goes by. And he's like, oh, man, I'm sorry. I was like, dude, I ain't even mad. I'm not hurt. I get it. I would have been scared to death, too. But roll down the fucking window, idiot. So.
Yeah, man. Oh, God,
you guys both have stories. I'll throw you a story.
Please do.
Okay. I stopped at Sheetz Saturday on my way home from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I ordered mac and cheese bites and mozzarella sticks. And they gave me 2 orders of mozzarella sticks.
Oh shit!
That's it. I mean, that's what happened. It was the most disappointing thing that's probably happened to me in a long time. And I was hungry. I just worked against the king of Pittsburgh, MV Young. I'm trying to stay awake, trying to get a little full before I get home.
Yeah.
Just with a little snack.
Yep.
So disappointed. Not nearly as cool as either one of those stories.
Well, here's the thing. It's horrible. And it reminds me of the time that I was at Arby's. And I was like, I love Arby's, okay? It's like my favorite fast food. Like, I'm almost always there when I'm hungry. And, but here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have, been to Arby's before, but, their sauces are delicious. Arby's sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Sauce, dude,
Agreed.
It's so good. Well, I always just say, it sounds stupid, but whenever they're like, what sauces do you want? I'm just like, give me a bunch of everything.
Yep.
Cause I don't say oh, I need a couple of these. I just say, just give me a bunch. because I know I'm gonna use all of it. Like I'm never gonna have any extra.
No.
And the other day, I was like, I just need a bunch of horsey sauces and Arby's sauces. Like that would be great. And they're like, all right. And I come all the way home with it because this is right down the road. And they put not 3, not 2, but 1 packet of each in the bag. And I was like, I don't know if this is because I asked for a bunch and they just were cracking up over it, but like it killed my mood. And you better believe I went all the way back over there just to get more and then came back home.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got more motivation than I do.
I mean,
Now that I couldn't tell you how many times.
It, you know, like,
dude, Taco Bell's on the other side of town.
Yeah,
I do a lot of Taco Bell. And because it's got to be a special trip, it's like 20 minutes away from where I live. And there have been times where I got all the way home and there's no hot sauce in the bag at all. It's the worst thing. And I'm not driving all the way over there. So we just kind of came to terms with it. We use Frank's Red hot sauce in this house now.
All right. Yeah. Well, I've got
it's the best substitution you got.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the solution. I know how y'all can get your sauces. You need to take the belt with you through the drive-thru.
Yeah, you're right.
The champ gets the sauce.
I'll be like, I'll speak in third person. I'll be like the champion, Evan Golden, but like some Arby's, please, some Arby's sauces. I'll just ask for Arby's. I'll be like, give me everything. Just see what they give.
Now that works for him, Lou, but what am I supposed to do?
You'll have a belt soon enough. VCW's getting them printed up. They're getting done, so soon enough.
Hey, time's ticking.
Time's ticking. I understand.
He's never gonna get his hot sauce until he's champ.
I'm gonna be screwed for at least 3 months, is what you're saying.
Yeah, fair enough.
You get the bag. You screwed me on the background. Now you're ruining my Taco Bell experience.
Hey man, you know I got to look good for the guest, even though they can't even see me.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed in you today.
Well, fair enough. It won't be the last time, I promise.
Nah, it'll probably be like the second or third time this week, and it's only Tuesday.
Let's get back to wrestling. We've covered the training, we've covered the come up, we've covered the title win. Let's look at some of the in between. What was some cool experiences, even if it was like a fellow wrestler winning a big match or whatever it may be. Just share with the listeners, because we try to spotlight the good in wrestling. It's the opposite of dark side of the ring. So what's some of the cool stuff you've seen in your time in the business so far?
You know, I think like the number one thing, no matter how much improvement I need to make for myself, the coolest thing that I have felt so far is making people happy. I love seeing visibly that people are enjoying the matches, no matter what's going on, no matter who I'm against. And that, you know, I don't like watching myself on video, but when I do have it pulled up, I do love seeing like the reactions and stuff from people. Cause I'm like, dude, that means they liked what they were seeing. And the coolest thing that's happened so far, is I went out after my match, and this is only like a couple of months ago. I went out after my match, and I'd had like a 30-minute match with this guy. It was like my longest match that I'd had yet. My opponent's name was Joe Briggs. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Joe, because he lives in Virginia, so you might know him. Okay. But the match was insane, and I went out after the match was over during intermission. Like all these kids and teenagers and a lot of adults just came up and, you know, were wanting pictures and stuff, and were wanting to talk about the match. And that was just really cool, because that's not really happened yet in this journey until then. So like I was like, this is so cool. But the thing that I took away from it the most is that like people remembered certain parts of the match. Like I remember that I signed this kid's shirt, and then he was like, how's your back from that backbreaker you took? And I was like, Bert, that was like halfway during the match. Me and my back forgot that even happened. So that's like, that's crazy that you guys remembered that. So far, you know, it's been a short journey thus far, But stuff like that, man, that's what makes it all feel so like worth it. And like it feels like that's what it's all about, is taking people out of their bad day and putting them into something to escape in wrestling. So
No doubt.
yeah, for sure. That's been that was a really cool time though, specifically. Like that night I was thinking like, this is so cool that people are like pinpointing spots from the match, and these kids are like 6 or 7 and they're like pulling out stuff I forgot about, you know.
No, I'm glad you brought up the kids, because the kids
Yeah.
have really got the loo this week. I'll tell you real quick here. PWL Saturday, Easter Mania. I broke in front of 300 fans running camera. I broke twice and cried in front of strangers. And
Did you?
Oh man, the first time Jason the Gift Kincaid's coming to
Oh,
the
yeah.
ring, and he hugged this fan, and the way that fan's face lit up, it ruined me. I was done. It was one of those deals where you're trying to hold back the cry, so I'm like making noises and shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that was one, and that fan wasn't necessarily a kid, but that got me. At the end of the night, Cyclops wins the PWL championship. His daughters are front row, and I've watched the footage back. When the ref hits 3, those kids hit their knees and just went face first to the floor crying.
Wow.
And I came up on him with the camera right when he's hugging his daughter, and she's bawling. And I've got 3 little girls of my own. Broke me again. The kids just broke me this week, but in a good way.
And like the
ahead.
thing about that is like, I just like, funny enough, like I used to feel this way when I was younger, but even like when I was like 16 or 17, like going to a live show that I was really looking forward to going to, like I just remember, like I can always remember waking up that morning feeling so excited to go to these shows.
Mm-hmm.
And like we talked about, this is something that like I've been around forever and should have been at the time burnt out on. But no, like I remember being like 17 and waking up for a certain show that I was going to see live that night, thinking like, oh, I'm so excited for this. And so, you know, now that I've started this journey for myself and, you know, am a wrestler in this business, I never forget that these kids all woke up thinking, we're going to see a wrestling show tonight and this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And, you know, probably we're looking forward to it, unless it's one of those things where their parents are like, oh, we're going to go watch wrestling, you know, and they didn't see it coming. But like, I know that there's fans there that just look forward to the show all day. And so I love paying that off for them by having a great match and just connecting with the fans the best that I can, you know.
I dig it. And I'm still that way. I'm 39 years old, and when it's show day, any other day I wake up and I'm like, I want to go back to sleep. When I wake up and realize it's show day, shit, I'm up and ready to go. Pick me up, let's go.
Me too, man. That's exactly how I feel. So like, if I'm that excited to be performing on the show, I know that the kids and the teenagers and even most of the adults should be excited for it too. And so I just love the realization of I made them pay off that feeling. You know what I mean?
Yep. I totally get it. Totally understand. What about you, Marcus Twist? How important are kids to wrestling? Or is Marcus Twist for the children?
I'm sorry, because I started eating.
I know, that's why I asked you.
I'm really hungry. Whenever you're 230 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal, you gotta stay fueled up, baby.
I get it.
But kids are part of like the biggest reason why I do what we do in this business. My son being one of the biggest wrestling fans probably ever. He got to watch us have a match and like winning in front of him, like you feel like a superhero.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And it's something that like a lot of us don't really think about enough, is like you might be not having the best day ever, or like, you know, you might look at it like, man, I really don't like I don't feel like wrestling. Like today, I'm tired. Like this week's been rough. You have all these like all your own personal issues, and then you go out there and like you might make everyone's day out in the crowd.
Yeah.
Not just like the kids and the fans and like, some of the other workers. Like for you, it might not be like, might just be a Friday or a Saturday. But the guy that you're working, you could be making his like entire month.
Yeah.
Like you could have been looking forward to that like the entire time. I try to keep like all of that in the back of my head and try to give everyone the best experience I possibly can, whether I'm that heel or that baby face. Like just I want kids to enjoy it. I want people to continue to watch wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's how we make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it good for every generation. You go out there and keep in mind, like, you're there to entertain, so do your absolute best every time you go through the curtain.
Yeah.
That's what I always try to keep in mind. Lou busts my balls, but I mean, like, I make a lot of people happy around this place.
Yeah, you're a people pleaser. You're the happy man.
He pisses a lot of people off too. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah, but they're happy because they're mad. They get to go home and they're like, man, my life sucks, but at least it doesn't suck as bad as that guy.
I had this one lady, she like found me. I was a heel and she found me after the show. I was like walking to my car and she was like, I want you to know that you helped me let off so much steam tonight. I've had so much shit going on this week and I let it all out on you and I'm not even sorry about it. And I was like, I'm not sorry either. I'm glad that you did this because you still seem pretty heated right now. So I'm going to go home.
Uh-huh.
Get out of here.
It's therapeutic, man. It's therapeutic. It makes me think of friend of the show. I've been thinking about this a lot today. Stephen Meeks. Loving people through wrestling, man. Like, yep, I get it. Like, we're changing lives, even if it's for 15 minutes, man. Whatever. Cool.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's therapeutic. We're in the home stretch, boys. Can you believe it? We got 8 minutes left. So you know how we do now, Marcus.
Let me tell you a funny story that you haven't seen since we've had some exclusives. So, like, probably, what was it now? 2 weeks ago, VCW has their first Moundsville show at a bar. Now, for those that aren't familiar with Saturday Night Special, it's almost like we were born in a bar. That's how natural we are whenever we're inside of one. You put a wrestling ring in there, and there was no way we were going to get beat the whole time. The footage ain't out yet, but it's going to be, because I just seen it get edited. Like, it's in the process of it now. There was a lady that bent down to tie her kid's shoe a little too close to the ring. And I sat on the ring, and I kicked my feet up on her back like I was hanging out in a lazy boy. And it is the most mad I've ever seen so many people that were just so happy 2 seconds before that happened.
That is hilarious.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait. And that's an exclusive because it's not out yet. Like I said, I'll be talking to the superior editor-in-chief of VCW stuff probably this Sunday. So I can maybe get that clipped out and put out there online.
We need the clip.
Oh, let me tell you. It was a good time. You want to, because you can make someone's day, but you can totally shit all over it too. Oh, it was wonderful.
Marcus Twist with the flip side of the coin. I love it.
Oh, it. You know how we were just talking about how things make certain people's days. That made my day.
Yeah,
that makes wrestling worth it for me.
Yeah.
Evan Golden, before we wrap up this awesome interview, couldn't be happier with it. At the end of the show, I always give my guest the last 5 minutes. The platform's yours. Any words of advice, motivation, anything that you want to get off your chest while you're at it. Plug your socials, any merch, anything you want to sell. The platform is all yours. Have at it.
Well, thank you so much for letting me have this platform, man. This is really cool. And I'm glad that I get this time because, the socials are super social right now. I've got Twitter, Instagram, all at Evan the Blonde. As you can see, I came up with the handle myself. And Twitter, Instagram is at Evan the Blonde with an E at the end. I just realized a few days ago that in Spanish and Espanol, an E at the end of blonde is feminine. But I mean, I don't even care. It looks stupid when you take the E off of it.
It matches the jacket.
It matches the jacket.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's staying. I'm not changing it. So it's Evan the Blonde with an E at the end on Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on Twitch. I love to play video games. So if you look up Evan Golden on Twitch, you will likely see me on there playing Apex. No other games in particular at the moment because that's my favorite right now. And I believe, I'm also on Facebook. I have an official page on Facebook at Evan Golden, and that's a good page to like if you want to see like match announcements and where I'm going to be next. But usually on my Instagram story, I always make sure to like post like posters and stuff of shows that I'll be at. So Instagram and Facebook are the best apps though to really see like where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be up to, and just like, photos from the journey. As far as advice, with me being so new to the business, the best advice that I can give is to have fun and make sure that you do what we said and make people have a good time and make the ticket that they bought worth it. And also to be safe, because you should always try to be safe, not only for your own body, but for your opponent's body, because we're also all trying to wake up the next morning feeling okay. So I would say that my advice to anyone that would like to pursue wrestling or is already pursuing wrestling is to have fun and be safe. And that's the best advice that I can give right now. But I also think that that's pretty valid advice. You know what I mean? This is pretty good.
Absolutely. That's good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, dude. Yeah, this is, and but other than that, those are the socials. There's a little bit of advice there, and the last thing that I want to say is I really hope that I could come work up in West Virginia a little bit, Ohio. Did I hear a Pennsylvania in there too?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's Pennsylvania.
That's right. That's what I might have to do at some point too. I need to, the Golden Wrestling family has rarely gone up north, if not at all. So I'm definitely gonna have to branch out that way. And I can't thank you guys enough for having me on. This has been like an absolute blast. So thanks for having me. And hey, if you guys ever like need a guest again, just shoot me a message and I'll just come back on again.
Hell,
Hell
dude,
yeah!
I promise.
Thank you for saving me from Lou. If only for a little while.
Yeah.
We're going to have you back on. You have my word on that. It's definitely been a fun one. Marcus, any last words from yourself before I wrap this bad boy up?
Well, as always, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe to the WrestleRoni Plus channel on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. There's a Facebook page. Lou doesn't believe in Instagram or Twitter. Nah, there's a Twitter. There's no
Twitter
Instagram.
King, baby.
You don't believe in pictures. That's what it was. You don't believe in pictures. He's weird. He thinks it's going to steal his soul if he takes a picture with somebody and posts it somewhere. Mostly me. I got like one with you, maybe. Yeah. Make sure you follow Marcus Twist on Facebook. Give it a like. There's a fan page on there. I got Instagram. I got Twitter. I got TikTok. I got a YouTube that I don't post anything on, but I've been thinking about it. We got the Pro Wrestling Tees store, the T Public store for Saturday Night Special, Marcus Twist, DD Vice. There's old designs, new designs, and WrestleRoni has a T Public. There's just one logo because Lou's been giving me a hard time.
I took the picture.
Now it's got to get processed. It took you
You
months
know,
to
you
take
know
the
how
picture.
that goes. It takes a minute. They've got to process it. They got to ship it through. You know, it's not
Yeah,
easy.
now I gotta make the logo, and then we gotta put the logo out there. This is a whole ass process. You've had ample time to give me a picture, and you never did. So now we all gotta suffer from it.
Coming soon. Hey.
But go out and support your local indie wrestling. If you don't like the shit on TV, you don't have to watch it, but you should go and catch a show in the town over, or down the street at the VFW. Go check out something new. Indie wrestling is good, debatably a lot better than the stuff you see on TV, so go out and watch it, because if you don't watch it, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There we go. I love it. And to wrap this up, from my heart of hearts, this right here, this episode is why I love this shit. This is why we do what we do. Evan hit me up out of the blue, said, "Hey man, could I be on your show?" And
like,
that
put
tells me
me on.
the kid wants it. He's doing his damnedest to get exposure. I'm all for that all day. And we did no prepping. I said I want to learn it along with my listeners. And this is what happens, man. It's wrestling's a fucking beautiful thing. And this episode, this is the proof of WrestleRoni and why we do what we do. So I can't thank you enough for just being who you are and doing what you're doing. We wish you the best in your future title defenses. Can't wait to get you in our area and see you live. Until then, get some footage, shoot it over. And to the listeners, you know how we do, damn it. Treat each other with kindness and respect, but don't take no shit. You know who you are. Go out and live your dreams. You might have a fucking title belt on your shoulder like Evan Golden. You never know, by God. It's been another wonderful episode with grade A, top-notch quality humans spotlighting the good in professional wrestling, damn it. So, hey, Saturday Night Shoot Masters this Saturday. More WrestleRoni's coming at you. RSW, Parma, Ohio. VCW in McChicken, West Virginia. There's a lot of good stuff coming your way. Shit. Easy Money's coming back to wrestling, for God's sakes. What a time to be alive.
Cha-ching. I'm telling you.
It's been WrestleRoni. We love you. We're out of here.